All right, so meanwhile, police in KwaZulu-Natal have put measures in place to ensure that the province delivers an incident-free Comrades Marathon this weekend. The 96 Down Run will take place from Pietermaritzburg to Durban tomorrow. So on that note, let's cross to our reporter Vusi Kumala and video journalist Japan Matebula, who's standing by. Vusi, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I believe you're also at the Comrades Expo. Perhaps you can give us the latest on what's transpiring. I believe it is also the final day that those who have entered can in fact collect their race numbers.
Oh yes, indeed. Lots of runners have descended on here in Durban to collect their accreditations. I mean, some of the goodie bags by the international runners as well as the local runners. We know that this time around, it's the first time that the Comrades Marathon received more than 2,200 runners internationally, and with India having the biggest contingent of runners, followed by Zimbabwe, our neighbors, as well as the UK, which has also brought a large number of runners to this year's 96th Comrades Marathon, starting from Pietermaritzburg, the KwaZulu-Natal capital, all the way to Durban here at Egagasini, otherwise known as Africa's Playground. That's where we are now at the Durban Exhibition Center, as we are also having a number of journalists who are coming from all spheres of life, coming to collect their accreditations. We also have companies here at the exhibition center, and some of them are offering services and products such as gear, equipment, memorabilia, Comrades Marathon, as well as some of the services and products that we have also spoken to a number of the owners, and also just now we also spoke to the Cancer Association, also advocating for some of the campaigns. But we also have the minister from Australia who's responsible for competition treasury, coming all the way from Australia, who will also be taking part in the race tomorrow. Let us welcome him, Mr. Andrew Lee, coming all the way from Australia. We hear that there's a certain cause that you are running for. Tell us about it.
Vusi, thank you very much. I'm raising money for the Indigenous Marathon Foundation, a charity established by world marathon record holder Rob de Castella. Every year it trains 12 Aboriginal Australians to run the New York City Marathon and then go back and help in their communities. So I'm running to raise funds for them. Just as they work to make Indigenous Australians strong, I feel that I'm strengthened by running with their singlet tomorrow.
Okay, talking about Aborigines of Australia, we know that before they've suffered injustices and also a lot of prejudice. Tell us about that. Is that still the case, and also some of the strengths that they do have in Australia? We heard that about 3% of the 3% of the Australian population of 25 million.
That's right. Like South Africa, Australia is still on a reconciliation journey. We have a lot of work to do to close the gaps in employment, in education, and life expectancy. But there's also something amazing about sharing a continent with a peoples whose history goes back tens of thousands of years. That's a great source of pride for non-Indigenous Australians like me. And so I'm very proud to be here running with the Indigenous Marathon Foundation colours in a country whose reconciliation journey is so inspiring to everyone around the world.
Okay, tell us about some of the strengths being possessed by the Aborigines of Australia.
Well, I remember when I ran the Chicago Marathon a couple of years ago, I was hurting hard, and then I felt a hand on my shoulder, and it was Charlie Marr, an Indigenous Australian who was the very first to finish the New York Marathon as part of the Indigenous Marathon Foundation project. Charlie just said two words to me. He said, "Stay strong," and that helped me finish the Chicago Marathon, and that spirit, I hope, will help me finish the Comrades tomorrow. The Comrades' values, strength, persistence, Ubuntu are values which are important to me and which I think teach us a lot about the reconciliation journey for countries like South Africa and Australia.
Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you for talking.
Yes, that's a minister from Australia, Andrew Lee, who's also saying that he's advocating for the Indigenous people of Australia, known as Aborigines. Let us now shift our focus to the main matter of the day, the news of the passing on of Clive Barker, the dog Barker, who also guided our Bafana Bafana shortly after the South Africa was also allowed to participate in the international sports in 1992. We know that Clive Barker was the man in charge of Bafana Bafana in 1994 as to up to 1997, just before the World Cup in 1998. We know that the main achievement for Clive Barker was winning, of course, Bafana Bafana's first cup or first title in 1996 by winning the African Cup of Nations. Let's talk to some of the people who have been here. They reacted very shockingly to the news of passing away of Clive Barker. Fortunately, with me, I've got two journalists who are working here in KwaZulu-Natal. Let us welcome you, sir, and also just your reaction to former Bafana Bafana coach Clive Barker, who passed on early this morning at the Durban Hospital.
Ngibingelele vuso Alfred Ngubane.com. Mfethu siphatheke kabuhlungu ukudlula kaClive Barker. Somkhumbulo ngimqala kumazi ngo1993 eqeqesha iqembu lamaZulu. Ngo1994 wathatha intambo kuBafana Bafana. Ngo1996 wakwazi ukuwina iAfcon. Ngimkhumbula kahle ngalesikhathi uMark Williams eshaya igoli lakhe lesibili endiza kanjena ekhombise lapha icelebration. Abadlali abasebenze naye kakhulu abo Dr Khumalo abo Shoes Moshiwo nabo Linda Buthelezi abanye babadlali kade bathanda kakhulu uClive Barker bebahlanganise njenganomndeni. uLinda Buthelezi bembiza ngeMercedes Benz yakhe ngoba bazi ukuthi umsebenzi wakhe uzowenza kahle kakhulu benayo lapho Eric Tinkler. Sibuye sasebenza naye ke nama journalist esebuyele la KwaZulu-Natal eseqeqesha amaZulu. Kumula nje ngiqala ukuhlangana naye ezemangabe ngikhuluma athi umfana wesizulu ukhuluma ke ulimi lesizulu ngendlela ezo ilokho nje accent yami engangibeka ngayo. So nje silahlekelwe kakhulu, silahlekelwe inqolobane ebholeni laseNingizimu Afrika. Uningi kade sikufunda kuyena nathi njengama journalist nabantu abasha kakhulu la ebholeni. Uningi kakhulu nekade siyakubhekile. Ngiyakhumbula nje nanencwadi yakhe ke akathi ke uyayikhipha engicabanga ukuthi ibisiza kakhulu kubantu abasha nokwazi ukuthi siphuma up nebhola. Okunye okuhle nje akwakwenzile ukuhlanganisa bonke abantu abamnyama nabamhlophe namandiya bakhuluma ngezwe lodwa ngo1995.
Siyabonga kakhulu. Asikhulume nawe ke mnumzana nje manje. Asithole nje igama nesibongo nokuthi wena ureact kanjani lezi ndaba ezibuhlungu emhlabeni kaMnumzana uBarker.
Yes, siyabonga Mtunga. Igama lami nguSabi wakachili from Vibe FM Sports. Set news namhlanje kuvuka kanye indaba ezibuhlungu nje ngomkhulu bese bedume kakhulu ngomkhulu ke khona la ikakhulukazi KwaZulu-Natal. Ngizomkhumbula mina ngekhathi kudala ngekhathi zoJulius Chirwa kumaZulu FC. Okunye futhi ezomkhumbula ngakho yize noma ngisemncane wayecoach amaqembu amakhulu la KwaZulu-Natal, Durban City, Durban Bushbucks and also amaZulu FC. Wadla isicoco sesake iBob Save nayo iCoca-Cola Cup eshaya khona iKaizer Chiefs ngo3-1. Nakho futhi bese shile la nombovu ukuthi udla isicoco sayi Africa Cup of Nations ngo1996. So futhi ke into angithande ngayo kakhulu ukuthi ke ube kholelwa kakhulu kubantu players alocally. Uma ngizosho nje khona odlala iJulius Chirwa nalethi umlaba inyakanyaka baningi oSimon Makagula ikakhulukazi kumaZulu FC ikakhulukazi oNel Chovi owagcina esecaptain eBafana Bafana usuke naye kuDurban City waya nawo kumaZulu FC. Mark Chovi usuke kuDurban City udlalile waya nawo kuDurban Bushbucks. Abaningi kakhulu Steve Yates abadlala abaningi kakhulu. So iNingizimu Afrika yonkana na KwaZulu-Natal yonkana ilahle kakhulu uyena umkhulu. Kube ukhulile yena ukhulile bese isikhathi eside impela siza ukuthi akaphathekile kahle. Nginethemba elikhulu kakhulu ukuthi iziphathi imandla bezikwazi ukuthi zimnakekele ngoba phela lo muntu ilegend yakhona la eNingizimu Afrika. Nengikholwa ukuthi kukhulu abamenzele khona yize noma ke esengasekho kodwa ke nginethemba elikhulu ukuthi ngenkathi esesibhedlela bebemvakashela bemenzela yonke into. Yeah.
Uma ucabanga ukubona kwakho njengomuntu ejournalist for isikhathi eside ubekufanele uhonorisho indlela efanele ubuhlonishwe indlela efanele kwa
no asikhulumeni iqiniso uClive Barker azange ahlonishwe ngendlela efanelekile ukwenze konke okwaseNingizimu Afrika ukuthi abuse ibhola wahlanganisa isizwe sonke sabantu abamnyama amakhaladi abelungu kanye nawo futhi ama-Indians kodwa asilikhulume nje iqiniso ukuthi nalabo bekhona akazange ahlonishwe ngendlela efanelekile besikulindele lokho ukuthi mhlambe ke mayebuya mayevuka eba right uzohlonishwa kodwa ke I know asikhuluma iqiniso azange ahlonishwe. Siyabonga kakhulu.
Those are some of the sports journalists here in KwaZulu-Natal reacting rather shockingly from the news of the passing away of our former national team coach, Clive the Dog Barker. Both gentlemen saying that they've got fond memories of Clive Barker. They remember him ensuring that football, especially in South Africa, is being played. Football in South Africa is being developed, and also touching on the players that if he worked alongside with a former Bafana Bafana players, Linda Mercedes-Benz Buthelezi, is saying that Clive Barker used to call teasingly Linda Buthelezi as his own Mercedes-Benz. He also worked alongside the likes of Dr. Khumalo, Mike Williams, and some of the players that he also developed at AmaZulu. To remember that he was the first ever coach. He remains the only coach to have won something at AmaZulu. Remember that in 1993 he was the coach who guided AmaZulu to their first cup in 1993, winning Coca-Cola in 1993, and AmaZulu have never won anything of big since then. So he was the only coach to have coached AmaZulu and won the cup, and also guiding Bafana Bafana in 1996. So the two gentlemen are also saying that Clive Barker was not honored adequately by the South African government. He said that he was hoping that perhaps after he was ill that he will come back, and then people will also honor him in a right way.
All right, Vusi Khumalo, thank you for that update. We'll continue to monitor as developments unfold. Of course, you're covering two stories there simultaneously. First up, we see it's the final countdown to the 96th edition of the Comrades Marathon.